Today we're going to be doing a sample data analytics project. We're going to be building a simple report in Power BI using some CSV files. The problem, Dylan really wants to go to this networking event, which obviously that's super important. He could meet someone at the event that could be his future data analyst mentor. It needs to be at a glance to teach him about Star Wars so that he can look at it and then go straight and take the test with Chloe. Also, to keep it simple, we're just going to be focusing on descriptive analytics, and I can put the definition for that right here. Okay, so I went ahead and asked him some of the things that he was looking for in the report to do some requirements gathering. He said a list of all the movies, the order in which they were made, the order in which they occurred, a list of Star Wars characters and species and what planets they're all from, that one ship Han Solo rides in and some details about it, some bar charts with some other things we thought would be important. So this one was a little vague, so I asked him a follow-up question if he meant maybe the details about the characters, if that would be something that he would like to see, and he said yes. So there we have it, our requirements. We can of course add anything extra we think might be helpful. We can show Dylan, if he doesn't like it, then we can go back and redo it. So that's typically how that would go. Let's look at our data set and see what we can take from there. Okay, so we have 5 CSV files, but I don't think we need this vehicles. This will happen where you have a bunch of data and you have to sift through and find the data that you actually need in the report. Vehicles, the Millennium Falcon's not going to be in here. I don't think we need any of this. The Millennium Falcon is in this Starships CSV. And Dylan definitely wants something about the Millennium Falcon, which was Han Solo's ship, but he didn't know what it was called. And look, we have all these details in the data, so this is perfect. I think it's giving us the model, the manufacturer, wow. And then he wanted a list of Star Wars characters and species and what planets they're all from. Okay, so we have a planets.csv and we have characters and species. So I bet we can do some data modeling to connect these tables in Power BI, put them all the information together. The movies. It's not in our data. Okay, so this is something that will happen as well where you need data that you don't have. So we're gonna have to go looking for it. We'll come back to that. I am going to download these 4 tables, not the vehicles. Great, it's making me sign up. If you're a special advanced snowflake, I'm going to link another video in the description for advanced Power Query Editor Star Wars data. Okay, so I just made a freaking account and I downloaded all of the files, the 4 that we needed, and I put them in a folder and I just named the folder Star or Star Wars. So now I can ingest these 4 tables into Power BI. Let's start a Power BI report. Save this report as report. Now we're going to go to File, Get Data, Text/CSV, and I'm going to click on Star, and we're going to see our CSV files here. So I'm going to open characters, and here we have our table. So we're not going to click Load because we want to transform the data first. I'm just going to, it looks like the column headers are in the first row, so we want to fix that. So we're going to click use first row as headers. And from here, we're going to get the rest of our tables and repeat that process. Okay, and I'm just going to apply that header step on all of the tables since it looks like it happened to all of them. If we want, my recommendation would be to rename the column headers, and that's actually Power BI best practice. How this one says name, it's better to have them uppercase. It's better to have them the way that you want to show them in the report. Something like hair color, we would want it to look like that instead. Now I'm going to click close and apply, and tables have now shown up, and we have our data model here, which there's nothing right now.
Go back to transform data in the query editor.
So I'm going to start with the starships table. I'm going to remove all of the rows that aren't the Millennium Falcon, since we really only need that one row because that was what we have in the requirements. Click here, and we're going to uncheck everything, and we're going to recheck Millennium Falcon. And this is going to filter out all the other rows. Oops. Manufacturer. Oh, I don't know how to spell this word, but it's like so important that we spell words right. Don't think we'll need these rows or these columns. Remove columns. I feel like this is like the good solid information. So let's close and apply, and then it's gonna make all of our changes. Okay, so we have nothing on our report. My personal preference is I like to have a background that's not transparent. I always think it looks prettier. I'm gonna insert a text box and drag it across. Star Wars report. Okay, you guys know what we're gonna do. This is gonna be freaking awesome. Do something pretty. Actually, this, I'm gonna call it a dashboard. The difference between a dashboard and a report, the reports are going to be more detailed and in-depth and will typically have multiple pages. A dashboard is gonna be more at a glance, only a few visuals, summary of something. Those words, people use them kind of interchangeably, but in Power BI has its own definition of what a report and what a dashboard is. So technically what we're building, and why I called it Star Wars report, is that this is a report. Any PBIX file is a report. The dashboards are built in the Power BI service, which that's a whole nother thing. I'm gonna be so cool, you guys. I'd say be really careful with copyright on the internet. Okay, perfect. That's a JPEG. We want it to be PNG, but I'm just gonna go visualization, and I'm gonna go page background, add image, desktop, and amazing. We're going to fit, and we're gonna make the transparency. It's gonna be like really transparent. But like how cute. Even the back, that's why it's being weird. It's gonna be beautiful. There's Vader or Starship. Okay, let's click the name, Millennium Falcon. Make this black. Wow, look at that, guys. That's a table visual. We're actually gonna rename this too. Han Solo's ship. That'll make it like super clear to Dylan. I'm gonna turn background on here of shadow. The background's gonna be like, oh, it's kind of ugly. Let's try and make something bigger. It's better. Maybe we can add underneath another table. So I'm just gonna copy paste this to insert model. I can actually make this one a bit bigger. I think this works. There are a lot of different ways we could do this. I feel like we don't need manufacturer. Let's do cost. And credits. Oh, you know what? That's a number. So we need to make sure that this data type is a number. Right now it's a text. So we're gonna right click and go to change type, and we're gonna turn it into a whole number. And now that we can see that cost is a number, I want this there to be like a comma. Like I don't want it to just have like a bunch of zeros. It's kind of hard to see what the number is. I'm going to create a measure. And I'm just going to call it cost in credits. And then some cost. So this is gonna just give us the same number because we only have one row in that table. Click on the comma right here and you can play around with how you want the number to show. Remove that and voila, there we go. I don't know about that one, if that's necessary even. And we should make this number 2, but let's move on instead. Let's go to the data model and we're gonna create some relationships. What do all of these tables have in common? Definitely use this planets table. Name, this is gonna be something we want. And then on the species, it's going to be home world. Home world, so home world on characters and species is the same as name on planets. So let's go back into our query editor and rename these columns so that they're all the same. Call this column planet name. Call this one planet name. And this is gonna make it easier for us. Planet name. There we go. And close and apply. Okay, so what we're going to be doing now is create a one-to-many relationship with planets and characters and planets and species. So 2 separate relationships. So it's gonna go like this. Take planet name and we're gonna drag it onto planet name. And Power BI already knows, it can see that there are only unique values for planet name in the planets table. So this is the key of this table. It's doing a one-to-many relationship. So for the characters table, you have multiple characters coming from the same planet. And then from there, what we can do, put in planet. Okay, planet name. What's like the best way for us to do this? Maybe a pie chart would be cool. With the pie chart, we can have the slices be big based on how many characters are from that planet, and it's gonna show Dylan like, okay, which planets are probably the most important in the Star Wars universe, because the ones where there's more characters from, those are the planets that are probably going to have more importance in the story. Create a measure. Character count. Do distinct count character name. Okay. I'm going to use this in the pie chart as the value. So we can see here we have Tatooine. Obviously, we knew that was going to happen. Naboo, not shocking. And then all of these other ones. Let's turn off all the data labels. This is a lot. Data value. Like, make this look better. Let's match our fonts. Okay, we did Arial for this one, so. Characters, planets, what should we call it? Characters by planet. It's pretty obvious, right? Actually use that same format with the shadow in the back as we did on there. So I used that format painter. I just clicked on it, clicked on the format painter. It's just like a PowerPoint. Oh, that messed up our title. I just wanted it to look pretty. Actually, what I'm gonna do, put a list of characters from the characters name. And this will also satisfy like more details about the characters. So I'm going to do, let's say we want their species. Oh wait, this is so perfect because we actually won't even need to use the species because now we'll know the species of the character. That'll be good enough for Dylan. Height, eye color. Sure, we'll do those. Just like humor me. Let's just say that on Chloe's test there is a question on the eye color of Anakin and we can see. Okay, maybe not that one. Let's do gender. The cool thing about Power BI is that we can have this and then let's say we want to know who's from Tatooine. We can click on that and it'll filter this table. And nothing's going to happen here because the starship table is not connected to the characters or planets table. If the species is important, it would also be a main character, you know? I think that took care of all of our requirements except for the list of the movies. Oh my god, and he wanted a bar chart too. Well, actually, we can probably make this a bar chart. But that, I guess we can do the bar chart. I don't like it as much as the pie chart, but that's probably what Dylan likes more, so we want to do what he wants. Planet name. We got a number of characters. Great, it's really big and you can't see it, so we gotta make the font smaller, and it's not that button, so it's this one. Okay, that's fine. It's honestly so hard to see the names though. I don't like that. The point is like you can make it look however you think is going to be the best way. Maybe if we do it like this. Oh my god. This is so much smarter. Way easier to see this now. Oh yeah. Oh, come on. Let's go. Data labels. We're gonna make these things big and way easy to see. Totally easy to comprehend. And that is what we're looking for. You can click on all of the characters, all of the bar things, and it'll filter the table. So we can actually do that and move these down into the corner. Let's covering Vader's face, but whatever. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna go look for some data. I will probably go and ask my friend Sue because I know that she holds data for the Star Wars movies. So I'm just gonna ask her if I can get access to her data and see if she'll let me. Oh my god, guys, look, I found the data and I got it into Power BI. One other piece of advice, which I didn't do, make sure that your data is up to date. So here we have all 9 of the original Star Wars movies, but in our data, I'm not sure it has the last 3. It is really important because what if Dylan gets a question on one of the newer movies and he doesn't know the answer because we didn't have data from that time period. And Power BI does not record Roman numerals, so we're actually going to do this episode sort because we want to sort this column by this column, so it's going to go 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. We're gonna make sure this is a number 2. Close and play. I already set up the table here, and as you can see it's incorrectly sorting the episodes. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on episode, sort by column, episode sort. Now when you click on episode, it'll sort it correctly. Even though this is a text field, we have our special sort column for it. And then you can also sort by the release order. You don't need to have a total on there. It's not something we want. If we want to move this around, we can. Okay, honestly, this is fine. Like, this is totally fine. I think that will be good enough to show Dylan. We can do a little demo for him and just show him how to use the dashboard. Hopefully he can take his test and pass and go to the Star Wars Circle. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was helpful. Love for you guys to say hi in the comments. I try to respond to them when I can. I will see you guys in my next video.